Steve, how about Mark Trumbo, one of the big free agent bats still out there? Where do you think Trumbo ends up here?
Well, he's another one of those players that overplayed his hand, a lot like Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista. Trumbo got a legitimate 4-year offer from the Orioles and said, thanks, but I'm worth more than that. Unfortunately, the rest of the market didn't agree with that. And so now he's left without a job and going back to Baltimore. Their offer's not still on the table. And so, the difficult position the team is in right now is that, you made an offer where you think, was the value, but the values change because it's all about the laws of supply and demand. And if the demand isn't there, then the dollar value of the player goes down. But are you willing to go back to Trumbo and say, yeah, we'll take you. We're going to take you for less than what we offered you before. That creates an interesting dynamic in the relationship between the organization and the player. So I don't know. I think Trumbo sits and waits this thing out, hoping that Baltimore is there because so far they've made the most significant deal. And that's the amazing part of this. We've had between Encarnacion and Trumbo, they've turned down the biggest offers that they heard from teams that they played for previously. And at some point they got left saying, oh boy, can I go back in time and take that deal that you offered me a couple weeks ago? I blew it. And unfortunately, I think Trumbo's in that situation.
Wow. Well, we might also have that same situation for Joey Bats, right? Jose Bautista, there's a report out there that he would take a 1-year deal to go back to Toronto, but he's also saying it has to be at least or maybe more than the $17 million qualifying offer that they extended.
Okay, so let me give you that's player speak. Let me dissect that from a general manager's perspective. What that means is he has no other offers out there. And that the qualifying offer has gotten in the way of his being able to sign. So now he's trying to save face. But if I offered you $17.2 million and you said no, why would I pay you more than that and bring you back? And so where the Blue Jays haven't offered him more than $17.2 million, they haven't offered him less. He's well down the list of solutions for their corner outfield spots on their roster. He's play at 37 years old next year. His defense declined where so many times he went to make plays on the ball and they popped out of his glove. He didn't quite get to the balls and gap. He didn't run the bases as well. He really was only able to handle pitches in the inner third of the plate, like you saw right there, that he could drive it out. But anything on the outer third of the plate, it was beyond his bat because he pulled off everything. Plus, the Blue Jays have made it clear they want to change the culture in their clubhouse. The way to do that isn't losing Edwin Encarnacion. It's losing Jose Bautista. He's a big personality. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He plays with anger. And that anger kind of oozes out of his pores sometimes. And everybody else feels like they need to tiptoe on eggshells around him. So I got to tell you, I don't know that the door's open on any basis for Jose Bautista to go back to Toronto. And it may very well be that he does not sign until after the June draft, when there won't be any sort of compensation, draft pick compensation attached to him. He may have to do what Kendrys Morales did a few years ago, what Stephen Drew did a few years ago, and sit out and wait the first couple months of the season, because I don't know that anybody's going to sign him to give up a first-round draft pick at 37 years old for a multi-year deal, let alone a 1-year deal.